All right, so we've got a stack of Cremant articles here you sent my way.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like someone's thirsty for some knowledge and maybe a little bubbly too.
Uh-huh. Well, I am always happy to talk about bubbly.
So we're diving into Cremant today.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, it's often called champagne's cousin, right?
Right.
Made with the same traditional method,
Yep.
but in different regions of France.
That's right.
So is that all it is? Is it just like a cheaper champagne?
Oh, no. It's so much more than that.
Okay.
The fact that it's made in the same method as champagne means you get the same really fine bubbles.
Oh, okay.
That same complexity of flavor,
Mm-hmm.
but the different regions and their unique rules about like the grapes that use the aging process and more, all that results in a Cremant that really tells its own unique story.
Oh, okay.
It's not just like a cheaper version of champagne.
Yeah.
You're getting a totally different experience.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So each region has its own personality.
Their own rules, yeah.
Yeah. Where do we even begin?
Well, the history of sparkling wine in France actually goes back further than a lot of people think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we could start way back in the 16th century
Yeah.
in a region you might not expect.
Ooh, I love a good origin story.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
So picture this.
Okay.
Limoux in southwestern France.
Okay.
Monks in an abbey discover that some of their still wines have,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's just say an unexpected effervescence.
Okay.
They kind of stumble upon this magic of secondary fermentation and bam,
Yeah.
sparkling wine in France is born.
Wow. So that's even before the Champagne region that everyone knows?
Yeah, they were making bubbly long before champagne was even really a thing.
So Limoux was like the OG bubbly spot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
But they didn't call it Crémant back then.
Right.
That term didn't come about until the 19th century.
Okay.
And get this, it originally referred to sparkling wines that had gentler bubbles than champagne.
Really? So it was like the quieter bubbly?
Yeah, kind of a funny twist, right?
That's interesting.
So when did it become like its own official thing?
Well, it wasn't until the 1970s that Cremant got its due respect
Okay.
with the AOC designation.
What is that?
That's the Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée.
Okay.
It's basically France's stamp of approval guaranteeing quality and origin.
Oh, like a seal of approval.
Exactly.
Okay, so officially recognized,
Mhm.
unique regional styles.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a taste tour
Okay.
of these Crémant regions.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the big one you mentioned earlier,
Okay.
Alsace.
Alsace, yeah. It's the powerhouse of Crémant. They produce over half of all French Crémant,
Wow.
and they love their Pinot Blanc,
Okay.
Auxerrois, and even a touch of Riesling in the blend sometimes.
Oh.
So you get these dry, elegant wines
Okay.
with delicate floral aromas, bright citrus notes, and just a crispness that makes you want to keep sipping.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, you said that Bordeaux makes Crémant too.
Yeah.
I'm more familiar with like their bold reds. I know, right?
Yeah.
It might surprise you, but
Yeah.
yeah, Bordeaux makes Crémant,
Okay.
and they bring all that winemaking expertise to it.
Uh-huh.
And it really shows.
Yeah.
They use grapes like Semillon,
Okay.
Cabernet Franc, and Muscadel.
Uh-huh.
So you end up with a Crémant that has a bit more structure,
Okay.
more complexity.
Yeah.
If you like a little more body in your bubbly,
Uh-huh.
maybe some herbal notes,
Okay.
Bordeaux Crémant is definitely worth trying.
That's unexpected.
Yeah.
Now, I know Burgundy is famous for its Chardonnay and Pinot Noir,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't really thought of them as like sparkling wine producers.
Well, that's the beauty of Crémant.
Yeah.
Bourgogne takes those signature grapes
Yeah.
and turns them into these beautiful sparkling expressions.
Okay.
So you get those same lovely white fruit and citrus notes from the Chardonnay,
Okay.
and then you get the red fruit and spice from the Pinot Noir,
Uh-huh.
but with that added layer of effervescence.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity. So we've covered Alsace, Bordeaux, Bourgogne.
Yep.
What other regional surprises are waiting for us?
Well, let's head south to this tiny region in the Rhone Valley called Die.
Die.
Yeah, they use the Claret grape there
Okay.
to make a Crémant that's really unique.
Okay. How so?
It's light,
Okay.
floral, and it often has this touch of sweetness.
Oh, a slightly sweet Crémant. Okay.
Different.
Interesting.
And then there's the Jura region we talked about earlier.
Oh, what makes theirs special?
The Jura is known for these really distinctive mountain-influenced wines,
Mm-hmm.
and their Crémants are no different.
Okay.
They often use a grape called Sauvagnin.
Sauvignon.
Yeah, and it develops these nutty oxidative notes.
Oxidative.
Yeah, almost like a dry sherry.
Oh, interesting.
It's a really unique and complex style.
Okay, I'm writing that one down. I need to try that.
You do.
Okay, we can't forget about the Loire Valley.
Of course not. Loire is like synonymous with Chenin Blanc.
Right.
And that grape just shines in their Crémant.
Yeah.
Think like bright citrus,
Okay.
honey floral aromas, and that classic Loire minerality.
Okay.
All wrapped up with those delicious bubbles.
I'm sensing a theme here.
What is it?
Each region puts its own stamp on Crémant.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They really do.
Okay, so what about our last stop on the tour?
Okay, Savoie.
Savoie. What's that one like?
So Savoie is nestled in the French Alps.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they bring that mountain air to their Crémant.
Okay.
They use local grapes like Jacquer and Altesse.
Okay.
And the style is fresh,
Okay.
elegant,
Yeah.
bursting with white fruit and floral notes.
Wow, what a range of styles.
It's really amazing.
So we've covered where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
What about what goes into it?
Yeah.
What are the key grapes that make Crémant so special?
Oh, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Both white and red grapes can be used in Crémant.
Wait, red grapes in a white sparkling wine?
Yep.
How does that work?
It's all in the dressing.
Oh.
To make a white Crémant, the winemakers will press the red grapes very gently,
Okay.
so they get the juice without extracting too much color from the skins.
Oh, so you get the flavor without the color.
Exactly. You get the subtle flavors and aromas of the grape, but without that deep red hue.
No, it's like a gentle squeeze to get the essence.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so what are some of the usual suspects?
Okay.
The white grapes that we'd typically find in a Crémant.
So Chardonnay is a real workhorse. You know,
Yeah.
it pops up in lots of regions because it's so versatile.
Okay.
Then you've got Chenin Blanc in the Loire,
Right.
bringing those honeyed floral notes we were talking about.
Uh-huh.
And then Pinot Blanc is a star in Alsace,
Yeah.
giving that crisp, dry character.
Okay, those are familiar, but what about some of the less common ones?
Yeah, so keep an eye out for Aligoté
Aligoté.
from Burgundy.
Okay.
It adds this vibrant zest and minerality.
Interesting.
And then there's the more obscure Massac,
Yeah.
the signature grape of Limoux. If you like a really unique apple-like flavor in your bubbly,
Okay.
Mabozek is the one to try.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that red grapes can make a white Crémant.
Yeah.
Which ones should we be looking for?
So Pinot Noir is common, especially in Bourgogne.
Okay.
It gives structure
Mm-hmm.
and red fruit character without the color.
Yeah.
You also see Gamay sometimes,
Let me.
the grape from Beaujolais.
Right.
It adds these juicy, fruity notes.
Okay.
And for a bit of spice and complexity, you might find Cabernet Franc,
Cabernet wine.
especially in Loire Crémant.
Okay. It's fascinating how all these different grapes come together
Yeah.
to create different Crémant personalities.
It is.
Yeah, it's like a recipe
It is like a recipe.
where each ingredient contributes its own flavor.
Exactly. And just like a recipe, the proportions of each grape can vary,
Oh, yeah.
depending on the style the winemaker's going for.
Okay.
It's all about balance, you know,
Uh-huh.
and showcasing the unique terroir of the region.
So you could have like a Chardonnay dominant Crémant for
Yeah.
like that crispness,
Exactly.
or you could blend in Pinot Noir
Mm.
for more depth
Yeah.
and red fruit notes.
Uh-huh.
And then the region itself adds another layer of complexity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So we've talked about the grapes,
Yeah.
the regions.
Mm.
Now I'm ready to get into like the nitty gritty
Okay.
of how Crémant is actually made.
All right, let's talk method traditionnel.
Okay.
Remember, that's the key to those elegant bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
It's a multi-step process,
Okay.
and it involves creating a still wine first.
Oh, so you make a regular wine and then you add the magic later.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
The first fermentation is like any other wine,
Okay.
but then comes the second fermentation.
Yeah.
That's the heart of the method champenoise. That's where the bubbles come from.
Okay, so break it down for me.
Right.
How do you get those bubbles in the bottle?
So it all starts with bottling the still wine and adding a mixture of sugar and yeast
Okay.
called the liqueur de tirage.
The cure de tirage.
Mhm.
Okay.
The bottle is sealed with a crown cap.
Oh, like a beer bottle.
Yeah, just like a beer bottle.
Okay.
And then the yeast gets to work.
So it's trapped in there.
Yep.
With the sugar and the wine.
Exactly.
And what happens next?
So the yeast consumes the sugar,
Uh-huh.
producing alcohol, and you guessed it,
The bubbles.
carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
Those magic bubbles,
Okay.
they're created right there in the bottle.
Now, doesn't champagne age on the lees?
Mm-hmm.
Those dead yeast cells?
Yep.
Does Cremant do that too?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Aging on a lees is crucial
Okay.
for developing those complex aromas,
Uh-huh.
that creamy texture that we love in sparkling wine.
Yeah.
You find those same toasty brioche notes in Crémant
Oh.
that you find in champagne.
Interesting.
It's all thanks to that interaction with the lees.
So it's not just about the bubbles.
It's not just about the bubbles. No.
It's about what happens during that whole aging process.
Exactly. The lees add a whole other dimension.
Okay, so we have this bubbly aging away on the lees.
Yep.
What happens next?
Well, the next step is all about removing those lees.
Okay.
And this is where it gets pretty labor-intensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're talking about remouge.
Remouge.
Yeah, it's a technique where the bottles are gradually turned and tilted over weeks or even months.
Why all that turning and tilting?
It's like you're gently coaxing all those lees to settle in the neck of the bottle.
Oh, okay.
So they're ready for removal. Traditionally, this was all done by hand.
Really?
Imagine rows and rows of bottles
Oh.
being meticulously turned by these skilled workers.
Yeah, that must have taken forever.
It's a very precise and time-consuming process.
Okay, so you have this pile of lees in the neck of the bottle. How do you get them out?
Okay, so this is the grand finale.
Oh, okay.
The neck of the bottle is frozen,
Okay.
trapping the lees in a little ice plug. Then the crown cap is popped off.
Okay.
And the pressure inside the bottle forces out that frozen plug.
Oh, so they just shoot out.
Yeah. It's pretty dramatic but controlled.
Wow.
After the lees are removed,
Okay.
the bottle is topped up with a bit of wine
Okay.
and a sugar solution called a dosage.
The dosage.
Yep.
So that determines the sweetness level of the final Crémant.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
The dosage can range from bone dry to slightly sweet.
Okay.
Depending on the style the winemaker is aiming for,
Yeah.
it's really the finishing touch,
Okay.
fine-tuning the flavor profile of the Crémant.
We've covered the grapes, the regions,
Yeah.
and this whole intricate production process.
It is intricate.
I'm feeling quite informed
Good.
and maybe a bit thirsty for some bubbly.
Well, we've only just begun to uncork the secrets of Crémant.
Oh, really?
There's still so much to explore.
Okay.
The different styles, the tasting experience,
Yeah.
and, of course, what to pair it with.
Well, I'm definitely ready for part 2 of our Crémant deep dive.
I'm ready.
We've laid the groundwork. Now let's get into the good stuff.
Yeah.
How to really appreciate this bubbly beauty.
All right, let's do it. Welcome back to our Crémant deep dive.
Oh, great.
We just uncovered all this fascinating history, the regional styles,
Yeah.
that really intricate production
Yeah.
of this amazing bubbly.
I'm ready to put this knowledge into practice.
Okay.
So I always love that moment, you know,
Right.
when the cork pops and the bubbles start flowing.
It's a great feeling.
But is there more to it than just like pouring a glass?
Oh, yeah. There's definitely an art to savoring Crémant.
Okay.
And it starts with the temperature.
Okay. Temperature.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Would you wear a wool sweater on a hot summer day?
Probably not.
Serving Crémant too warm?
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
It masks those delicate aromas and flavors that make it so special.
Right.
You want those to shine through.
So chilled, but not too chilled, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the sweet spot.
Aim for about 6 to 8 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
That's cold enough to be refreshing,
Yeah.
but not so cold that it numbs your palate.
Right. You want to awaken the bubbles, not shock them into silence.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so no freezer emergencies?
No freezer emergencies.
What about the glass?
the glass?
Does it really matter what kind of glass I use for Crémant?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You know those classic tall, slender flutes?
Yeah, those are pretty.
They're great for preserving the bubbles,
Okay.
but they don't give the aromas much room to breathe.
Hmm.
It's like trying to appreciate a symphony
Yeah.
in a tiny closet.
Yeah, you're not getting the full experience.
You're missing out on so much.
So we need a glass that lets the aromas, like, really sing.
Exactly.
What's the best choice, then?
A tulip-shaped glass is ideal.
A tulip-shaped glass?
It has a wider bowl
Okay.
that narrows at the top
Yeah.
and that allows those complex aromas to really open up
Okay.
and express themselves fully.
So you get a much richer sensory experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm picturing the scene here.
Yeah.
We've got the perfectly chilled Crémant poured into a beautiful tulip glass.
All right.
What's next? Do we just, like, dive in?
Not so fast.
Oh, okay.
Take a moment to observe.
Okay.
Start with the color.
Okay, the color.
Yeah, it can give you hints about the grapes that were used
Uh-huh.
and how long the Crémant has been aged.
Oh, interesting.
So like a pale straw yellow color might suggest a younger Crémant,
Okay.
while a deeper golden hue could indicate more time in the cellar.
Okay.
And of course, Rosé Crémant will have those lovely pink tones.
Right.
It's all part of the visual experience.
So we're looking for clues like detectives examining a piece of evidence.
Exactly, you got it.
What about the bubbles themselves?
Ah, the pearl eyes.
Oh.
Those tiny, persistent bubbles.
Yeah.
They're a sign of quality craftsmanship.
No.
They indicate a long, slow, secondary fermentation in the bottle.
Interesting.
Think of them as like tiny pearls,
I love that.
rising gracefully from the depths of the glass.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's all part of the magic.
Okay, so color bubbles.
Uh-huh.
Now we get to like the really fun part.
Here we go.
The aroma.
Yes. This is where the Crémant starts to tell its story.
Okay.
So swirl the glass gently,
Okay.
just to release those aromatic molecules,
Uh-huh.
and take a deep inhale.
Okay.
What do you detect?
This is the part where I pretend to be a sommelier.
Uh-huh. I love it.
I love trying to figure out those subtle notes.
It's like a puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Crémant can offer such a diverse range of aromas, depending on the grapes, the region, the winemaking techniques.
Yeah.
You might encounter bright citrus notes,
Okay, like lemon.
like lemon grapefruit,
Okay.
or crisp green apple.
Oh, yeah.
Delicate floral hints like honeysuckle or acacia,
Oh, wow.
or even yeasty, toasty aromas
Okay.
that remind you of fresh-baked bread.
Now you're making me hungry.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we've looked at it, we've smelled it.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the main event,
All right.
the taste.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the best way to approach this?
Take a small sip first,
Okay.
just to coat your palate and awaken your taste buds.
Right?
And pay attention to the texture.
Okay, the texture.
Yeah. Is it smooth and creamy?
Like satin on your tongue?
Exactly. Or is it crisp and lively with a refreshing sparkle?
Okay.
And then focus on the flavors.
Okay.
Do they echo the aromas you picked up?
Oh, yeah. I always try to think about how the flavors unfold.
Yeah.
Like a story with a beginning, middle, and end.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
You might encounter flavors of ripe pear,
Okay.
white peach,
Yeah.
zesty lemon,
Okay.
or even hints of spice or minerality,
Yeah.
depending on the Crémant's origins.
Uh-huh.
And don't forget the finish.
The finish.
Yeah, that lingering taste that remains after you swallow.
Okay.
Does it fade quickly or does it leave a lasting impression?
So many things to consider.
It's a whole experience.
All right, so we've covered the sight, the
Yeah.
smell, the taste.
Yeah.
Now the most important question.
What's that?
What do we eat with this delicious bubbly?
Ah, yes, the pairings.
Is Cremant only for like special occasions
Mhm.
or can we enjoy it with meals?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that.
Okay.
Crémant is incredibly versatile when it comes to food preference.
Oh,
Yeah. That bright acidity, those
Yeah.
fine bubbles,
Mm.
they cut through richness,
Okay.
cleanse the palate,
Yeah.
making it a perfect match for a huge range of dishes.
So it's not just a celebratory sip. You
Yeah.
can build a whole meal around it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Think of it as an all-occasion bubbly,
Okay.
ready to enhance any dining experience.
I like that.
So for lighter fare,
Okay.
like salads with creamy dressings,
Okay.
seafood appetizers,
Okay.
or even sushi,
Mm-hmm.
a crisp, dry Crémant d'Al sauce would be lovely.
I'm already picturing a summer evening sipping Cremant d'eau sauce with fresh oysters.
Ooh, that sounds good. What about if you're going for something a bit heartier?
Okay, yeah. What about like richer dishes?
Yeah, like creamy pasta,
Okay.
roasted chicken,
Yeah.
or even pork tenderloin,
Uh-huh.
a Crémant de Loire
Okay.
with a touch of sweetness,
Yeah.
and those honeyed notes that we talked about
Uh-huh.
would be a delightful pairing.
Okay.
That slight sweetness
Yeah.
will complement the richness of the dish
Mm.
without overwhelming it.
This is making me so hungry.
Haha.
What about cheese?
Cheese!
Can we get cheesy with Cremant?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Crémant and cheese are a match made in heaven.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
For soft cheeses like Brie or Camembert,
Okay.
a Crémant de Bourgogne
Okay.
with those elegant notes of white fruit and brioche
Yeah.
would be a classic pairing.
Okay.
And then for stronger cheeses like Gruyere or Comté,
Okay.
a Crémant du Joie
Uh-huh.
with its nutty oxidative character
Yeah.
would be a bold and delicious choice.
Okay, we need to have like a Cremant cheese party immediately,
I'm in.
right?
Let's do it.
What about dessert pairings?
Oh, don't forget about dessert.
Okay.
A slightly sweeter Crémant,
Uh.
like a demi-sec,
Uh-huh.
can be lovely with fruit tarts,
Okay.
creamy panna cotta,
Ooh.
or even chocolate mousse.
Okay.
The sweetness of the dessert will be balanced by that bubbly's acidity,
Yeah.
creating a harmonious symphony of flavors.
My head is spinning with all these possibilities.
Wait.
So many delicious pairings.
I know there are so many.
Any final tips for making the most of our Cremant experience?
Here's a fun one.
Okay.
Try adding a raspberry or a blackberry to your glass of Cremant.
Really?
Yeah, it's a beautiful visual touch.
Okay.
And it adds this subtle burst of fruity flavor
Okay.
that complements the bubbly beautifully.
That sounds fancy.
It is a little fancy.
I like it.
It's fun to experiment.
Now I'm thinking about all those beautiful regions we talked about.
Yeah.
Could we pair the Cremant with dishes from its region of origin?
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, good.
It's like creating a culinary journey
Yeah.
right at your table.
I love that.
So imagine sipping a Cremant d'Alsace
Okay.
with a traditional tarte flambée,
Mm-hmm.
or enjoying a Cremant de Loire
Yeah.
with a classic goat cheese salad.
Okay. I am so inspired. I can't wait to start exploring the world of Cremant.
It's a delicious world to explore.
And all these incredible pairings.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone from history and production to like tasting notes
Yeah.
and food pairing.
It's been a journey.
Is there anything else we need to know about Cremant?
Well, we've covered a lot,
Okay.
but there's one more layer to uncover.
Okay.
How Cremant fits into like the larger world of sparkling wine.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, we've talked about those champagne comparisons,
Right.
but what about its global impact?
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about its value compared to champagne, but how popular is Cremant, really?
Oh, Cremant is definitely having a moment.
Okay.
Production is on the rise,
Uh-huh.
and it's not just confined to France anymore.
Really?
You'll find winemakers in other countries embracing the Cremant style
Oh, wow.
and putting their own spin on it.
So this French tradition is inspiring a whole new wave of bubbly around the world.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is.
But France is still the heart and soul of Cremant, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
With Alsace leading the charge, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Each region adds its unique flair,
Uh-huh.
whether it's the Chenin Blanc of the Loire,
Yeah.
the classic Burgundy grapes,
Mm-hmm.
or that historical significance of Limoux.
Yeah, it's like this beautiful tapestry
Mm.
of Cremant styles,
Yeah.
woven together by tradition, but with all these individual threads shining through.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That perfectly captures the diversity
Mm-hmm.
and the richness of the Cremant world.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. Champagne. We've said, Cremant offers a similar experience at a more accessible price point,
Right.
but like, how does the pricing actually compare?
Well, champagne definitely holds a certain prestige,
Yeah.
and that's often reflected in the price tag.
Uh-huh.
You can easily find a bottle of Cremant for half the price of a comparable bottle of champagne,
Wow.
sometimes even less.
So are we talking like a significant difference here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, does that lower price mean Cremant is sacrificing quality?
Not at all.
Okay.
Remember, Cremant is made with that same meticulous traditional method
Uh-huh.
as champagne.
Right.
Winemakers are using high-quality grapes,
Yeah.
time-honored techniques.
Uh-huh.
It's not about cutting corners.
Okay.
It's about offering a different kind of value.
So you're getting that elegant, bubbly experience
Yeah.
without the luxury markup?
Exactly.
It's like experiencing a Michelin star meal at a cozy bistro.
I love that analogy.
Bruh.
It's
Yeah.
all about accessibility, showcasing those unique terroirs.
So we've covered production,
Mhm.
price.
Mm-hmm.
What does the future hold for Crémant?
That's a good question.
Is it going to stay under the radar?
I don't think so.
Or is it poised to become even more popular?
I think Cremant is on the verge of a major boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why do you think so?
Well, we're seeing a global trend towards drinking more sparkling wine in general.
Okay.
You know, it's not just reserved for special occasions anymore.
Right.
People are embracing bubbly as an everyday enjoyment.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So Cremant is riding this wave of like bubbly enthusiasm.
Exactly.
But what else is contributing to this potential rise?
I think also wine drinkers are becoming more adventurous.
Okay.
They're curious about exploring different regions,
Uh-huh.
discovering hidden gems
Yeah.
beyond those big name brands.
Right. So Cremant is perfectly positioned to appeal to those adventurous palates.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, its diversity and those unique regional expressions, they offer something for everyone.
That's true.
And as more people discover the quality
Yeah.
and the value that Cremant has to offer,
Mm-hmm.
I think demand is just going to continue to soar.
I'm starting to feel like I should be investing in Cremant futures.
Well, at the very least,
Yeah.
you should be stocking your wine fridge.
I think that's good advice. Okay, we're back for the final part of our Cremant deep dive.
It's been a journey
It has been a journey.
through the world of bubbly.
I feel like I could walk into a wine shop now
Yeah?
and confidently pick out a bottle of Cremant.
I think you could.
We've covered so much,
We have.
from the history and production
Yeah.
to all those delicious tasting notes and food pairings.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
That's how much there is to explore with this wine.
Yeah. You know, it makes you wonder what those 16th century monks in Limoux
Oh, yeah.
would think of the global bubbly scene today.
I know, right? They probably wouldn't even recognize it.
We talked about Cremant inspiring winemakers worldwide, but is there a risk that it could lose, like, its distinct French identity in the process?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, could it become just another generic sparkling wine term?
Well, it's true that the growing popularity of the Crémant style is leading to some interesting experimentation
Yeah.
outside of France.
Mm-hmm.
But the French AOC system
Yeah.
really plays a crucial role
Okay.
in protecting the integrity and origin of Crémant.
Okay, so like the rules are still the rules.
Exactly. To be called Crémant, a wine has to adhere to those strict French regulations
Mm-hmm.
and be produced in one of the designated regions we talked about.
So it's like a guarantee of authenticity.
It's a stamp of approval.
Yeah. For Cremant lovers,
Mm-hmm.
they know that even though someone might be inspired by the style,
Right.
they can't actually call it Cremant
Yeah.
unless it meets those French standards.
Exactly. So we're seeing a global embrace of the style,
Mm-hmm.
but those 8 French regions
Yeah.
remain the true guardians of Crémant.
Right. That makes sense. It protects the tradition.
Yeah.
And it makes sure that when you see Cremant on a label,
Mm-hmm.
you know exactly what you're getting. That French quality
Yeah.
and that regional character.
It's a promise of quality.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Cremant so appealing.
It is.
You're not just getting a sparkling wine.
You're getting a taste of place.
Yeah.
A glimpse into the history and terroir of a specific region.
It's like a little window into French culture, all bottled up with those delightful bubbles.
Exactly.
So we've talked about its popularity and its global reach,
Uh-huh.
but I'm curious what kind of people gravitate towards Cremant.
Mm.
Is it a specific type of wine drinker?
You know, I think Crémant appeals to a wide range of palates,
Okay.
but I do think there's a sense of curiosity
Okay.
and adventure
Uh,
among those who seek it out.
so they're open to new experiences.
Yeah, they're not afraid to try something different.
Yeah.
They want to experience those champagne-like qualities, but with a unique twist.
So they're willing to venture off the beaten path of sparkling wine.
Exactly. They want to discover those hidden gems.
Yeah.
Those regional expressions that offer something special.
Yeah, and something exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that sense of discovery
Yeah,
is so important in the world of wine.
I agree.
You know, there's always something new to explore,
Mm-hmm.
a new region,
A new grape.
a new style,
Mm-hmm.
waiting to surprise you.
And Crémant offers all of that
Yeah, it really does.
and invites you to embark on that journey of exploration, to delve into those regional nuances,
Yeah.
experiment with pairings,
Yeah.
and ultimately discover your own personal favorites.
I think we've done it.
I think we have too.
I think we've successfully uncorked the secrets of Cremant
We did it.
in this deep dive.
Cheers to that.
We've learned so much
We have.
about its history, its production,
Mm-hmm.
the different regional styles.
All his unique personalities.
Yeah. And even how to appreciate it like a pro.
That's right.
I feel like I could give a master class now.
Huh? Well, maybe not a master class.
Okay, maybe not quite.
But you've definitely come a long way.
I've learned a lot.
That's what it's all about.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
here's a final thought to ponder as you embark on your own Crémant adventure.
Okay. I'm listening.
If those monks in Limoux
Yeah.
could stumble upon the magic of bubbles centuries ago,
Mm-hmm.
what other hidden gems are waiting to be discovered
Ooh, that's a good question.
in the world of wine?
That's what I love about wine.
Yeah.
There's always something new to discover.
Keep exploring.
Keep tasting.
Keep that sense of curiosity alive.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.